Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Garage Show. We're on episode 21 now. Oh my god. As per usual, and this is Gaz. How's it going, mate?
I'm good. You got that episode number straight off the bat then, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I finally learned to count. Only took 21 goes to actually get that. So remember, because like last week we managed to get out like 4 shows and it finished perfectly, having like an half an hour long bitch at dinner time about Batman versus Superman. Finished perfectly on the 20th show for that. So I was like, yeah, we actually look like we know what we're doing.
I know. I kind of enjoyed the dinner time bitch about it.
Yeah, it was good shit, that.
It was like getting something off my chest and then getting back into work.
Like I said, when it first came out, a couple of my friends did a podcast on it. For a website that I used to do a bit of work for, and they took like 3.5 hours debating it, talking about everything, and it was all negative. I don't think there was any good points that they brought up in it whatsoever. So they bitched for longer than the film.
The thing is, I don't think I've got enough time in the world to do that.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And you'd just be so depressed by the time you'd finish that for 3.5 hours. What would you do?
Watch Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, that's it. Watch it again just to make sure you were right. Well, actually, no, I quite like it the second time. Be honest. You may know, anybody watching the video might have noticed that I'm not at home or in the garage where I normally do the shows from. I'm in a hotel at the minute, and it's like it's really mad. It's a pain in the ass because I was like, right, I'll put in a nice t-shirt because I'll probably do a show while we're away. Find out that I packed 3 vests instead of another t-shirt. So all I've got is this really shitty thing that I've had for about 5 years. I'm sat on a chair that's one of those ergonomically designed desk chairs, but like when you lean back, it just goes that little bit too far to make you think you're about to die. So points throughout the filming where you'll probably hear me go, because I'll forget. And then, like I said before we started, everything's just precariously balanced on the table. So there's a very real possibility that it'll all slide off onto my knee halfway through. So a bit of a roller coaster today. So how's your week been? Anyway, I've been stuck down here.
I've had a really good week. I had a bank holiday, so just had some nice family time to do. It's kind of just got really sticking to some family time. It's Lisa's birthday tomorrow, so we're just kind of just enjoying our time, the 3 of us really. So it's been really good, to be fair.
Nice. She's done well there, getting a birthday to land on a Friday. Got a weekend as well to look forward to on a short week.
I know, yeah, exactly. It's landed perfectly.
Good stuff. Maybe 2020 is looking up now for the last, 3 months maybe. We'll see. It's doubtful. Anyway, so we just dive into some news. There's a few little bits to talk about this week. Nothing to get into massively, I don't think, but we shall see, as per usual. More remake news, which is always good fun. We can seem to be constantly bitching about remakes and reboots, don't we, on this every single week? But it just goes to show how many of them they're actually fucking doing.
Well, I think it's just going to be a common theme now. I think it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy work, really, isn't it? It's half the workload already done, isn't it? So
yeah.
I fully expect this theme's going to keep continuing for a long time now, because there's a lot of classics from the 80s and 90s that
are prime for fucking up.
Yeah.
These 2 of them that I'm going to mention tonight are classics from the 80s that are going to be fucked up. So we're on a good thing. First thing is they've announced that they're making the X-Files into a cartoon series. Did you see this?
No. Why are they doing that?
Did you ever used to watch the show at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love the X-Files.
Wasn't it incredible? Wasn't it absolutely incredible? So now they're making it like a fun for all ages cartoon. It's like, I think I put a post on the Facebook page saying, you know everything you loved about the X-Files? Now we're going to do the opposite and make you sit through that instead.
Why did they do that?
I really don't know.
That's not what the X-Files is about.
No.
You know, when you were kind of growing up, that was the thing that if you want to be a little bit spooked out, you watched the X-Files, didn't you?
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
you could have watched a cartoon version. It's not going to have the same impact, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't even know what they're going to do with it. There's very little information knocking about at the moment because it's literally only just been announced that it's in development. But and from there, it just gets worse because they're remaking Highlander.
Right, don't make it a Highlander, dude.
Highlander is amazing. The
Right.
original Highlander movie is incredible, right? And it's being remade. Again, there's not that much information about it, but it looks like they are remaking it like from scratch, the original kind of storyline and going from there. One bit of good news is that it's from the same guys that are doing John Wick, so you can guarantee it's going to be pretty action-packed. But why do it?
Let me say, it's basically probably because what they can do visually for it. You know what they couldn't do in the 80s, they can do now. It's like I say, half the job's already done. The story's pretty much there.
It's interesting actually because I was reading an interview with the guy who's going to be making it. Like I say, he's the same guy who directed John Wick, and he was saying like, so the theme of Highlander, if you haven't seen it, is spoilers. They're a bunch of immortals, and they've been around for thousands of years, but they get called to like a gathering, which is called the Quakening, and then they have to fight to the death, and then the last one who survives gets like all the knowledge and power in the universe. That's the kind of story. The only way you can kill them is by chopping their heads off. So it's just like sword fighting all the way through. He was saying that the theme of the original movie doesn't really lend itself to sequels. He said because like the first narrative is there can be only one. So obviously he fights all the way through until there is only one. And if you've killed off all your supporting cast, then what are you supposed to do for a sequel? It's like, well, just make one film then. Stop being a greedy little prick. Just make one.
There's no problem with that. There's no problem with one classic. It's clear money grabbing kind of stuff, isn't it? Then
exactly.
They've took stuff that's quite cult like following, and gone right. We can use this and get 2, maybe 3 films out of it.
That's what it looks like, mate. Yeah, it looks like they're going for like a trilogy or something. He's even said it might be a TV show, which is quite interesting because there's already done a TV show which ran for like 8 or 9 years, and it was about.
I think I remember watching some of the TV show.
It's actually really good. It really stands up for the time. But so the original Highlander, the one from the actual movies, is Connor McLeod, isn't he?
Yeah.
And this is about his cousin, who also turns out to be immortal. So like in the first series, Connor pops up in a couple of the episodes and stuff. And he's like guiding him through what's going to happen and all this kind of thing. And then I think it ran for like 7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, especially now you've just put that name there, I definitely remember
I think it's Duncan. I think it's Duncan MacLeod that the TV show's about. I might not be 100%.
I can't exactly remember, but.
So again, what else is there to explore? All they can do with it is just to make another one, just to make money, which kind of disgusts me and makes me want to vomit.
But it's definitely the big cult following from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing. They know where the market is.
Exactly.
You know, once you mention these kind of things and names and stuff like that, you know, you're gonna get people's instant reactions and suck people right into it straight away. So you're gonna get a certain following straight off the bat. So you know, it's a smart move business wise. But for those fans who enjoy these films and stuff like that, again, like you said, why touch something that's that people just love, and it's just that one film that you can go back to and enjoy, and you don't have to think about what's going to happen in the second or third, and you know, are they going to mess the storyline up? And yeah, we've debated about this for quite some time now, and They keep spoiling stuff.
Yeah. Again, another one that was announced. I think it was like the day after we filmed the last show. Will Smith, right? He's probably my favorite actor in the entire world. Him and Kevin Hart have got together and they're doing a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. They're like, again, the classic cult comedy from the 80s, which, in my opinion, shouldn't really be touched. But it'll give it a really different perspective, I think, with those two, as opposed to two like elderly white gentlemen trying to get across country by whatever means necessary.
I can't remember the first one.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. I've heard the film title, but I can't remember the actual first film of that. But I actually didn't. When you posted it, I didn't know it was Will Smith and Kevin Hart that came up with the idea of doing it, though.
Yeah, so apparently they've been looking for a project to work on for a long ass time. Yeah, and they've decided to do this. So the original was John Candy and Steve Martin, and it's basically a buddy comedy where they kind of find themselves stranded together and they've got to get across the country, and it's by basically any means necessary. And it's a freaking hilarious film. One funny thing that did happen this week was somebody posted an article that it was going to get remade and put, oh God, I bet Steve Martin's going to be spinning in his grave. But he's not dead. So he just tweeted back, not yet, I'm not. Which I just thought was absolutely.
I love that response.
Yeah, isn't it? That was absolutely great. What else can you say to that if someone thinks you're dead? Yeah, amazing. But like I say, so this it's a beloved film from the 80s. But at least with two younger black dudes, it's going to give a very different perspective. It'll be a very different movie from a very different angle, I think, and that's the only way they could get away with doing something like
this. That's not a bad way of looking at it. I feel that there's probably going to be a lot of films that it's going to be looking at a different background. Yeah, certainly the way that things are going, I definitely think you're going to, like, it's weird, it's hard to touch on the race thing, but there's probably a lot of really good black actors out there that didn't get these kind of roles.
Yeah.
And we are probably going to get a few of them where we see a slight twist on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something that don't bother me whatsoever, actually, because there probably wasn't enough of that back in the 80s and 90s, or even longer.
I think I'd be really interested in seeing like quite a few things like that. Like, this is what the white guy would have experienced, and then this is what the black guy would have experienced. Yeah. I think that'd be like, especially if he set it like at the same time. So if you had Will Smith and Kevin Hart, but then like set it in the 80s when this movie was set as well, just to show like the difference. Have them doing the same journey in the same manner, just to show the fact that they could. There's no chance that they'd have made it, even harder. I think doing something like that would be good if it had like a different message towards it, but who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, some stuff to cheer us up now. Resident Evil's getting a TV series at Netflix, which is great news. I think they're just starting again from scratch, so it's nothing to do with the films or anything along those lines. Obviously, it's going to be based along the same story as the games and the movies followed, but it looks like it's going to be very different, and it's going to be a live action TV series. So that's good news for you, bad news?
Right, so one of my close friends has been desperate for me to watch the whole Resident Evil series. I didn't play it as a game.
Yeah.
And he borrowed me the box set of it, and I watched the first one.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. I've literally just watched the first one. So, the premise of it does Resident. Do you think it touches a little bit of what Walking Dead are doing, or do you think it's completely different?
Well, I mean, it's quite difficult, that, isn't it? Because obviously Resident Evil was first by quite a long time. So if anything, it's like Resident Evil are touching on that, but it's definitely the fact that they're doing a TV series is definitely playing off the back of the success of Walking Dead, especially now Walking Dead's dropped off so much, and he got rid of like the main character, one of the main characters.
Was the books of Walking Dead not quite some time ago though?
And well, yeah, the comics have been going for ages, but I mean, it's nowhere near as long as the Resident Evil games were going. I think even like the first movie or something like that probably came out before the actual Walking Dead books started, which is quite interesting. And obviously, like they want to gain notoriety for quite a while.
Yeah.
But do you know it's still one of the biggest selling comic books on the planet? It still does something like 30,000 copies every single issue it brings out. That's just insane numbers for a comic.
It doesn't surprise me. It actually doesn't. It's got such a following.
Have you ever seen one of the books? It's just in black and white, really simple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be quite surprised with the difference if you saw like the comics.
I just kind of remember playing parts of the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I get most of my Resident Evil stuff. It's just I didn't follow the storylines or anything in the game. I just played little parts because it wasn't really my kind of game when I was getting into it. But I kind of get why. They go down a TV series of this.
Yeah, I think it's different enough from things like Walking Dead and other things like that to be able to survive. Because like zombies is only the start of what happens, and then there's like these big mutants that come out, and these like different forms of the infection that infect people and things like that. So I think there's definitely ways that they can keep it far enough apart from just the standard zombie apocalypse to keep it really interesting. I think as long as they get the cast right and they go like no holes barred, which if it's a Netflix series, they're gonna, aren't they? I think they'll smash it with this.
This is definitely something that's right down your street, though, isn't it?
Oh, 100%, mate, yeah. It's like I keep reading bits about the Mortal Kombat remake that they're doing at the minute. The company that's got hold of the Mortal Kombat rights now they just don't give a shit. This next film is going to have proper full-on fatalities in, which is like, it's something that we've never seen before. We've seen like bits of people getting killed, but this is like, apparently it's got like the full gory, full-on blood everywhere.
Yeah, because the original films were soft.
Yeah, quite soft.
Compared to what the actual game is and that. So yeah, it's quite interesting actually.
Yeah, but that kind of thing, like you say, as well as this Resident Evil remake, is going to be right up my street when that gets going. Quite looking forward to it, to be honest.
Do you know what? It's definitely. I reckon I would watch that.
Yeah, I reckon you'd be really into it. So, like you say, you've watched the first movie. I mean, after that, they kind of simplify it a little bit, and they do get a lot better as they go on. I mean, I think they ended up with something like 8 of them, something along those lines. Yeah, and they're really good. They're brilliant. They're really good to watch. But yeah, be interested to see what they do with this new TV show. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so James Bond. Is that a movie franchise that you follow at all?
In and out of James Bond.
Yeah.
Not literally.
Yeah. You don't like it too much, but yeah.
I've not watched the recent ones, like the last 2 or 3.
Yeah, the Daniel Craig stuff.
I think it got to the point of maybe his first film, and after then I'm not really bothered and stuff. But I do like James Bond. I like the films.
Yeah.
Again, all these kind of great classic films have got a really good game to them. And it's one of the greatest games of all time, Jay.
I think everybody who's ever played a computer game knows that GoldenEye is one of the greatest games there ever is.
It really is.
I wonder how many real fights it spawned. Just off that point there, that split screen. Amazing. Yeah, so the latest one dropped a second trailer. I think it was today, actually, for No Time to Die, which is the latest Daniel Craig one, which again looks like... So his movies have kind of explored the whole James Bond universe, like bringing back classic bad guys. It went back to where he was born and loads of different things. And this looks like it's carrying on the same theme. And they're saying again it's going to be Daniel Craig's last one, but they say that after every single one he does. so, so no one really knows what's going on there. But the trailer looks pretty epic. It's really good. It's really, really well done. Plenty of classic Bond stuff in there. Quite a lot of scantily dressed women, as you'd expect from a James Bond movie.
Do you know what? I've always found the trailers incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something that I've always done. Like, sorry, and that's why I'm kind of surprised that I've not watched more. More of it actually could be a good one to go down the review line, really. Because the trailers are incredible. And in a weird way, they show a lot but don't really give much away.
Oh no, yeah, this is exactly the same. Yeah, absolutely hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what this is like. You get little snippets of bits where you go, oh my God, that's that guy. Oh my God, that's that guy. But it doesn't tell you anything. Basically, it really shows some amazing stunt work, and it shows that he's got his Aston Martin as per usual, which is kind of like stable. Besides that, it doesn't really give a lot away. I'll share the link to it underneath this on Facebook when we can, because it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to. I really have got to watch it because I do enjoy the trailers, and I don't understand why I've not gone and gone. That's really good. I'll watch that, and then I kind of go, can't be bothered.
It's always like that, and it's always something. The Daniel Craig ones are definitely worth watching. I mean, like, I've got friends that are mega into James Bond. My brother's like really into James Bond. I think he's watched every single one of them in order. But yeah, this one is going to be quite epic. It'd be interesting to see what at the end, especially if it's going to be his last one, if he's going to be leaning on from somewhere. So I can't get used to this chair still. It feels really weird.
Oh. Again, though, if he moves on, do you think they'll go, let's change James Bond up? Will they go, let's have a black man playing James Bond?
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think they easily could. So the big rumour about this movie has been that James Bond isn't 007. So that's been the big uproar. Now, 007 is just like his spy number. So anybody can be 007. And at the end of the last movie, spoilers, it does look like he walks away. So it doesn't look like he's a spy anymore at the start of this film. So obviously they're going to replace him. Now, people heard this and went fucking shit crazy on the internet, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, they did.
And it went insane. Hopefully this advert will have shut them the fuck up, because this advert is great. I think it shows who the new 007 is as well at the moment, which is quite interesting. But yeah, we should see. Again, looking forward to this one. This is going to be good. Now, next up, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Are you a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine at all?
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jay. I absolutely love it. It's again, it's just one of them things where I watched the first season of it, and it's not that I fell out with it or anything like that. It's just that I've not got back round to it, because there was I seen in an article, and it was saying, these kind of shows, are they dying a little bit? And it kind of feels like, I know it's a brilliant show, it kind of feels TV series from Netflix or Amazon Prime and stuff like that are pushing them to one side a little bit.
Yeah.
So you get so stuck into these that I forget that these great shows still exist.
Yeah, that's good. No, I mean, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think most of the series now are on Netflix at the minute, but I totally get it. With this, I mean, we get it on E4, and I think we get it it's normally about 6 months after it's been on in the States or something along those lines, and then we get it on Netflix probably about a year after that. So it is kind of all over the place, like you say, which is kind of hard to keep track of now. Now that you get Netflix and Netflix goes, we've got this show, here's all 13 episodes, go and fucking watch this. So I would rather just sit there and just have it on autoplay going bang, bang, bang while I'm doing something else or while I'm actually sat there watching than I would wait week on week on week for a show, like you said. But it's just been announced that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is returning for season 8 at the start of next year. Now, for those of you who aren't seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's a comedy that is based in a cop precinct, 99th precinct in Brooklyn, which is where it gets its name from, obviously. It's hilarious. The entire cast is incredible. It's absolutely amazing. Somehow they managed to keep it fresh every single season. It got dropped by one network about 3 seasons ago now, and it's that popular that another network picked it up within about a month of it being dropped. So it looks like it's going to go on and on for a while. This year, though, with all the stuff that's happened, all the stuff that's triggered the Black Lives Matter protests and all that kind of thing, and all the police brutality protests, they had the first half of a series written, and then they scrapped it all because they felt that as portraying police officers, they needed to come at it from a completely different angle now to respect everything that's going on. So the fact that it's coming back this time next year is really interesting. They said they literally just tore up all the scripts that they had. They were about to go into table reads and production and all that kind of thing. They just tore it all up and they just started again. So the fact that they've now announced it's going to be out next year suggests that they've gone back to the drawing board, they've re-looked at everything, re-evaluated what they're going to do in the characters, and they're going to go from there, which is like really interesting because it's not really shied away from those themes before. There's been episodes about racism because obviously like the cast is like they're from everywhere. There are Latinos in it. They're like pretty much equally split men and women, white guys, black guys. There's people from all over the place, so they don't shy away from that racist or sexist or like any sexuality issues or anything like that. All of it is in there, and it's all right out on Front Street, and it's all. They deal with bad cops, they deal with good cops, they deal with like everything that you can imagine could come into it. They don't shy away from it. So I'm going to be really interested to see what they do and how they handle it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really interesting that actually, because I see all that and I wondered, oh, why? What's the point of doing all that? And you kind of forget for a second that it is a cop show.
Yeah, you do. You really do. It's incredible because it is that funny and you get so invested in the characters with it. You do forget that they're police and they're actually being police. It's set in a precinct like most of the time. And obviously with what's been going on, it's like, I saw a funny meme the other day that was like, at any point in America, the police could have just gone, look, we've done stuff wrong. We'll hold our hands up. We're sorry. We'll try and do better. This is how we're going to do better. But they haven't done that. They've just carried on being brutal. It's like, you're going to slag us off for police brutality. We'll fucking show you police brutality. And that seems like how they've handled it. So if they're going to be doing a comedy cop show while all that's going on, and while public tensions and public feelings surrounding the police is that bad, it's just, how do you get your head around it? I've got no idea.
it's ballsy.
Yeah, big time.
So where are we up to now? Are we on like season 6, 7?
7's just finished, so this next one that comes out 2021 will be season 8.
Right. Throwing this at you now that we're on season 7 and we're really well into it. If you take probably the 2 most popular comedy TV shows in America history, in Friends and Big Bang Theory, where does it stand up against, in your eyes, where does it stand up against them?
That's interesting. I'd say it was number 2, after Friends, before Big Bang.
Right.
I think the trouble for me with Big Bang is it was just the same joke every week. Oh, Sheldon's weird. Let's take the piss out of him for that. And that's how it kind of, oh, Penny's hot and thick. Let's take the piss out of her for that. And that's what it kind of like got into it. But like Friends is always going to be a massive one for me because that was when we were like growing up and started watching like proper TV and binging on it and things like that. And it's always going to have like a big, it's very much of its time. Like I think these episodes in it that you definitely couldn't do nowadays if you look back and watch some of them. especially
Yeah.
like Traveler's dad and stuff, being a transvestite gay drag act, isn't he, in Vegas? Some of it gets a little bit, oh, it's 2020 now.
Well, it's just quite interesting because it's starting to get that kind of recognition, isn't it? So
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely think so. It's definitely worthy of it as well. It's genius. I think Andy Samberg is one of like the main producers on it. I'm pretty sure he'll do some writing on it as well. But his entire character and everything along those lines, and the way that we all relate to each other and the development over the seasons, how it's changed, has been absolutely brilliant. It's a genuinely genius show. But yeah, so how they're going to handle this next bit, I've got no idea.
drink a lot.
Yeah, sounds like a fucking plan, it does. Yeah, so speaking of drinking a lot due to depression, just to put us on another downer, is the news that came out this week about Chadwick Boseman. Unfortunately, at the age of 43, he passed away after a 4-year battle with bowel cancer. And evidently no one knew, not even like Marvel and Disney and stuff like that. He just carried on making badass films, being an incredible actor, supporting like God knows how many charities, and by all accounts being one of the nicest guys ever. And unfortunately, he passed away this week. It hit me pretty hard, this dude. How about you?
Yeah, me the same, because it was, like you said, no one knew. It's such a surprise. I was quite surprised that Marvel actually didn't know themselves.
Yeah, I was quite shocked at that as well, because I think it was they obviously we signed people up for quite long deals. Like I shared a video to our Facebook group the other day of Don Cheadle, who's the guy who plays War Machine, and he was saying that they phoned him about his contract when he was at one of his kids' parties, and were like, right, we've got this contract, we want you to play War Machine for the next 12 years. And it's just a massive commitment. And he was saying about the difficulties, like thinking about I don't know what I'm going to do this time next year, let alone for the next 12 years. So that's the kind of contracts that are thrown out at Marvel and Disney and stuff. So obviously he would have been on one of those. I think his contract would have finished with Black Panther 2, which is obviously still to go in production, which is just so depressing that we're not going to see him in a second Black Panther movie, because that first one was just insanely good.
Yeah, it is, because like you said, that like I kind of thought for a second that Marvel might have known, because you didn't see like an awful lot of him in Endgame.
Yeah, that was it.
Any of the Avengers, Infinity War or Endgame, and there's very little anything coming out with Black Panther 2. And I was kind of, when the news kind of broke, you kind of went, well, maybe they did know. It's ridiculously sad, because sometimes some people are born to play a part.
Yeah.
Like say like Heath Ledger is Joker.
Definitely.
And it's the exact same thing, because they've played this part perfectly, and unfortunately in both situations that we don't get to see them play any more of it. And it's really punched people right in the stomach, this, isn't it? So yeah, it's been a tough one.
Seeing all the tributes and stuff like that, and seeing people talking about, like, obviously, like mainly the Black community, about what that movie did for them and the way that they felt about it, and they felt about him for portraying that character so well, it's just like, it makes it twice as heartbreaking, because it really did change the game. I remember we went to see, oh God, what was it? I think it was Infinity War, when we were in New York, me and Fran, and we were sat in like a massive cinema. And when you're in the cinema in America, they get involved, dude. It's like a completely different experience. They're cheering and shouting at the screen and everything like that. It's utterly fucking brilliant. If you ever get the chance to go to America, definitely go to the fucking pictures while you're there, because it is so worth it. The biggest cheer in all of Infinity War was without a doubt when Black Panther showed up on the screen. Everybody just loved it. It was like a 50-50 split audience as well in the center of New York. and everybody just loved him. It was just, that's the one thing I remember from the whole movie. That, and everybody at the end going, "Oh my God!" And the snap happens and it just goes off. But yeah, those are the two things that really stick in my mind.
I think that it just came across as such a powerful, like the way they did it was so powerful, wasn't it? Really, and his storyline and it, like you said, it's really captured everyone's kind of imagination to how a black superhero is kind of done. If you get what I mean, like it's the first time we kind of really seen it in such a scale.
Yeah, he wasn't a sidekick. He wasn't a second. He wasn't anything along those lines. He was proper front and center. And he was a king as well. So that's like, and he was probably the richest guy in the Marvel universe and all. So like everything, all the accolades, he got them all, and he smashed it. He just carried it so well, and it is such a beautiful film as well. I mean, we've been talking about giving it another watch and reviewing it, so hopefully we'll get to do that within the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, because like I was saying to you, I've only got around to watching it once, so
Yeah,
I think to give it its own time to do it right would be really nice, and it'd be I can imagine that being a really good review to do that one.
Yeah, any excuse to stick that movie on for me anyway. Yeah, so, like I say, so thoughts go out to his family and friends and everybody and stuff like that. It must suck. I mean, it's hit me quite hard. I can't imagine what it's doing to the rest of the world, especially like the black community in America, who he meant so much to. And then on top of that, I can't imagine what it's doing to his family and friends and everything. So yeah, hopefully everybody will get through it all right, and we can. God knows what will happen. Just leave them to it. So we have started to try and end on a little bit of a high after that depression. We decided to do a bit of a new segment on the show, which is going to be a recommendation of the week, which is where me and Gary are both going to suggest something that we've watched that we're not going to do a review of or anything like that. It can be a TV show, a movie, anything that we've seen that we just want to give a quick mention to, and we want to give a shout out to and tell you to give it a look because we enjoyed it. So yeah, do you want to kick us off, Kaz, with what you've got?
Yeah, mine's a short TV series. It's an Australian TV series called Glitch. I don't know if you've... Yeah.
Right.
It's only got 2 seasons to it. Quite short, quite simple, but the idea of it was brilliant. And basically, I'm not going to give too much away of it. It's just that people come to life. There's a glitch. People come alive, and from different times, like different eras. So one's from 1800s. One only died a couple of years ago. Like this is from 2019 when it finished.
Right. Yeah.
So one of the characters only died. There's 6 of them altogether, and one only died a few years ago. Like I say, one from 1800s, one from like early 1900s, and that kind of thing. Different backgrounds, and they all come alive and come together. And basically, the show is them trying to work out why they're alive. They don't remember themselves or who they are, or anything like that. And they have to try and work it out. And some of the way that they can kind of work it out is if they've touched, they're all from the same area. And if they've touched something that they've previously been to, it gives them a flashback of a little bit of something.
Yeah.
And they just they just go through it and try and work out what the hell's going on, basically. And the stories of some of the characters are absolutely brilliant. It's so cleverly done. It's so good. It's something I've never seen before done. I believe there is another TV show in America. They've done something similar. But again, like I said, go and give it a watch because it's literally just 2 seasons.
What did you watch that on?
Short. There's a start and a finish.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and it generally does just finishes. So go and give it a watch. Honestly, I don't know where to find it.
Right, cool. So it's going to have to have a look for. Probably on Amazon.
But we'll post where to find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely go and give it a watch. It honestly, it will suck you right in. It's great.
Yeah, so my recommendation of the week is quite ironically something that's kind of similar. So like anybody who's watched or listened to the show before will know that I spent a lot of time away. I've been away all week this week. So I always have to have 2 series on the go. One that I can watch at home with the missus, which obviously I'm not allowed to watch when she's not there, and the other one that I watch out on the road. So I've actually got 2, but I'm going to save one till next week. So this one is the one I'm watching with Fran at the minute. I started it the other night, and it's called Once Upon a Time. It's on Netflix at the minute. It's about fairy tale characters that have had, like, so it's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Cinderella, and Rumpelstiltskin and all of those like classic Disney fairy tale characters. They've had a curse put on them that has sent them to our world, and they've all lost the memories, and they can't remember like who they are or where they're from originally. But
so both chose something where they've lost the memories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so this one kid can, and he's trying to jog everybody's memory and trying to get them to remember who they are and where they're from in order to break this curse and get them back to like this fairy tale land wherever they were from. It's absolutely brilliant. It keeps cutting between them, like all just working in their everyday lives, and then cutting back to their stories as like Snow White and the Huntsman and everybody like that, and how they all relate to each other. And it's like, I know it's the comic book world then, but it's not in like this fairy tale world, kind of like where Shrek lives in the cartoon.
Right.
And it's genius. But I think there's about 7 seasons of it. Like I said, we've just started on the first one now. So it's amazing. Really enjoying it. That's definitely worth a watch. It's all on Netflix at the minute as well. So if you're looking for something to watch with the missus, have a look at that. It's great.
I'll definitely give that a watch, actually.
Yeah, cool. Excellent stuff. I think that about wraps us up then for this week. So yeah, the 2 recommendations have been Glitch and what was mine called? Once Upon a Time. Go and check those out. Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to us on all the normal ways, on the YouTubes and all the other social medias. I always forget 1 or 2, so it's easier just to say that rather than try and list them all off. But yeah, if you just search for the Movie Garage anywhere, you'll find us. Yeah, and that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks a lot, Gaza.
Cheers, Jay. Thank you.